So part two. Let me try to fully explain this with a lot of parts because it's acting stupid. Sorry, my internet really sucks here. But anyways, what I was trying to say was that there was a hole in my left reading artery, and there was a aortic stenosis (SBAS) and a heart blockage. All of those were pretty much all the big problems. And I know a lot of you guys are wondering, like, how does your heart technically work? Like, how? Well, the way it works is that it pretty much, okay, like imagine you have a tennis ball, like an actual tennis ball in front of you, pick it up, and you squeeze it. That's how pretty much your heart works, is that when you squeeze it, it pretty much pumps the blood. So when you squeeze it, it pauses. When you let go, it releases the blood. So that's how your heart really works. Now, on the other hand, you guys probably want to know, is there other ways to know how your heart works? Yeah, there's totally tons of crazy things out there in the world that doctors actually do, which is pretty insane. Doctors use, like I said, echocardiogram. There's a transesophagus ultrasound, which actually goes down all the way to your heart. That's really amazing as well. And there is CT scan, MRI scans. And there is a HIDEA scan that goes over your chest cavity, and it actually will show how your heart's pumping instead of using an ultrasound more safer, which is another safest way as possible. Now, all those things are pretty much all safe. They have amazing technology in the world that doctors have been using, and frequently a lot of doctors have been using this amazing test, which is I'm going to explain to you guys what it does. Angiogram and angioplasty are actually what goes into your groin, and they numb it first, and they actually make a small incision, and they actually put in a small device pole that actually goes into the leg. Now, when they put in the thread that's well a contrast dye inside your artery from your vein, actually it goes into the artery, and it goes all the way up to your whole entire arm, all the way down where your heart's at, because then it shows how your heart's pumping. Now that's like a pretty cool way, I guess I can estimate to explain that way. But like as I was saying, that there's tons of ways. Now, for the angioplasty, they actually put a stent in the heart, so that way it can remove, it can keep the stuff from having more blockages, more blood clots, everything pretty much. Excuse me. Other than that, I do not have a angioplasty done. I have the angiograms. So those are very technically hard to do. As I said, guys, I went into cardiac arrest, and they had to. Well, I didn't tell you about that part. Sorry, guys. But after I came home and learned about all those heart problems, I actually had to get a angiogram. And when they pushed that IV contrast dot in, my heart stopped. Like, it completely stopped, flatline. Like, no sound, nothing. And they had to do a arterial defibrillator, which is a device that is a shock, basically. And the shock, basically, the shock actually goes into the heart muscle, and the heart begins to work. Sometimes you have to do CPR for hours. Well, I mean, for like a good, good timing, like, an hour tops. Because if you did it for 2 hours, then the person has really died actually in real life. But what they do is that there's CPR training all over the place. And I recommend you guys get it done, because then you guys can save lives by doing that. Also, giving blood transfusions, that can save lives. But what happens is that your heart just kind of stops, and it doesn't want to pump at all. So your body just kind of says, like, hey, can we just, kind of like shock, can we do something, if they can't shock it, because there's, you know, Sorry, guys. I'm ignoring all this stuff right now to explain all the details. But what happens to your body is that there's tons of shock that kind of sends through, and the heart muscle starts pumping again, and you don't want that to stop at all, because what happens is that they have a thing called life support, and life support is where they pretty much put you under anesthesia, and they put you in sedation gear, which is what they put a oxygen tube in your mouth, and it goes actually into your airway, and the airway has a flap, so it opens up. Now, when they put that in, you technically can't breathe with the tube in your mouth, so they had to use a special oxygen thing that pretty much pumps oxygen into your body so you don't have to breathe on your own. That's the way it works. And the way that they actually do the thing is that they have a special device that's a airway opener, and it opens up the airway, and you can put it in the tube safely. Another way to put in the tube is by doing it by cutting open the airway area, putting it in, and then putting the oxygen thing into the area. That's a very hard challenge, because the surgery it's a small surgery, and trust me, it takes a little bit of time to actually get the patient, vital signs back to normal. It does take a long time. Another thing that you guys probably should know about, if you ever get surgery and stuff like that, is that you are hooked onto a blood pressure, heart rate, and oxygen monitor, and that is in one machine basically. So what they do is that they hook up a special clip thing or a special sticker thing. They actually wrap it around your pinky, and that basically will show how your heart rate is. Now, the way that they actually keep your, they actually check your oxygen levels is with the electrodes. Electrodes are the most important thing, because electrodes actually will show how your oxygen and heart rate is doing. And then there is a blood pressure monitor thing that's also inside of it. Now, that is pretty much that goes on your arm, and it pumps up the air and it deflates. So when it pumps up the air, your pulse is systolic. Now, systolic is where it's pumped and then it is on hold. So your blood's on hold basically, and your pulse is still trying to pump blood in. So when it deflates, it's systolic, and that's when it happens. Now, a lot of people have been wondering, is it a good thing to know that our pulse is working very well? Yes, it is important to know your pulse is working well, because the reason why is because a lot of people have cardiovascular disease like me, and a lot of people wanted to know a lot of details about that. Yes, it's very hard and very challenging. The reason why you should always get your heart checked out is because there is signs, there could be signs of unexpected heart disease or unexpected arrhythmia. You should always go get checked out, because what happens is that your heart muscle can become very weak, and that's when it stops, and you don't want that to happen. That's why I always recommend to go get your heart checked out, because there's always tons of things that people don't know about themselves, even in the family history. I don't have any family history of heart disease at all, so I'm the first one in the family that has the heart disease in my family, and it's very challenging. Other than that, it's more like a, very hard situation to go through on your own. Basically, your body just wants to pretty much just be like, okay, I'm wanting to quit now. Don't let it quit, because you need to constantly work on yourself. I recommend running on a treadmill. That is good cardio. Running's good cardio. Just do something that's simple. Walking's good cardio. Pace walking is really good cardio. Swimming's good cardio. Running, instead of using treadmills, really good cardio. You just gotta do a lot of good cardio to make sure that your heart muscle is working very good. The other way to like instantly know is I have this, unfortunately, because I have really bad blood pressure readings a lot, and I had to check my pulse rate. My pulse rate, hold on, y'all. Okay, I was gonna try to explain this. So, what you need to do is feel around the skin area where it is like super soft and not bone, because what happens is that there's a little bit of fat in your arm. And that's a good thing, because a little fat actually helps projects all the muscle substance and artery to hold in. So you want to feel around it, make sure that there's no, bumps around it or anything. That's where it could be bone. So you want to press down, and I already found mine. So I'll show you guys how I do this. Because I can do this now. So you want to do like a scan on the arm. You don't want to find where any bone or any substance tissues are in there, or any, like weird things in there. So you want to press down. No, that's really faint. But if you go, that's also very faint. No, it's not going to be faint. So you really want to make sure your body is stable. Don't move your arms around at all. I'm using my left hand because that's the only way I can feel it. So use your left hand. Now, if you guys don't know where to locate your pulse at, go ahead and use your neck area as well, because your neck area is very good as well to use. But if you don't feel your pulse in your arm, go to your neck area. If you don't feel it in your neck area, go behind your leg and on top of your foot, because that's where the gut pulses are at. Also go to templates on your head, because your templates have a good area of the pulses. Now, if you guys hear your pulse in your ears, that's a good sign as well, because that means that you're technically doing very good then. But sometimes it can be like emergency, and that's not good. So you gotta make sure it's not like a arrhythmia or like a arteriophobia, So you want to make sure. Now, what I recommend for doing this is that you guys may want to go to a cardiologist. I have a special cardiologist who's like amazing, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about him. My cardiologist, he's from originally Indian, and he's just really amazing, and I actually do like him. And what happens is that when I go see him, is that he'll put me on to a EKG. An EKG is where it's electrode stickers that go onto your whole entire your chest wall, your stomach, your arms, your legs. Nowhere else, because that'll be just kind of weird. Anyways, that's how it works. Then they put these little attachments on your whole entire body. So now when they have the EKG going, it will show how your heart's working, how your heart's pumping, everything. And if they notice that there's a stroke sign, if they notice that there's a heart attack sign, any of those can actually show up right away. Now, what they do is that they put these EKG things on your body, and it will show on the screen of what's going on, and you have to stay still so they can print it, and then they can count how your heart's doing. Another way is that they use a pulse monitor, which is like very kind of simple. Sorry guys, my body hurts today. Very simple. And what happens is that they use a thing, and it actually detects your pulse, and it actually is pretty cool. So when it detects your pulse, it actually counts up the numbers where it should be at, and it's an average, and it's accurate. So you want to make sure that it's a good sign. Another good thing is that if you have a Fitbit watch or an Apple Watch, check your oxygen, your heart rate monitor, because your heart rate is a good sign to also check on there, because it actually does show the signs of like how your heart's doing, everything. I also recommend you guys to take the fish oils. Fish oils are very good for your heart because it actually stimulates your heart muscle from going into stress mode, and that's a really good sign. Another good thing is to take is aspirin. Aspirin protects your heart from having a stroke or heart attack. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, like, how do you know all this? When I was little, I had human body books, and I knew like a lot about the heart muscle, and uh, when I was little, I was always sedated for echocardiograms, and I didn't know what they were doing to me technically, so I was sedated, and I couldn't say yes or no, which was very hard because like I didn't know what was going on. My mom was technically my guardian to actually take care of my medical supplies and my medical needs. And so that's what it was, like it was pretty nerve-wracking. My mom was in there and she pretty much like, just would go into my echocardiogram appointments. No, I go in by myself and I pretty much just like chill out with, what they're doing, just like relax a little bit, try to take a little like a little nap, because like it's really dim, like really dark in there, kind of because they have a camera, like the computer is so bright that it actually will light up the room, kind of, and basically when you look at the screen, you actually will see how your heart's working, which is pretty amazing actually. And I'll give you guys a little glimpse on like how that works right now actually, and it's really cool like how like a lot of technology works these days. So what they do is they use they have electrodes stickers like an EKG machine pretty much would have, and it would show how your heart is like, how the heartbeat looks and how it's like, making the signs of like, there's life and whatever. So that's pretty cool. But when they do the gel part, it gets like really cold or warm. So you want to make sure that, ask them if it's warm or ask them if it's cold, because then you feel like, you're gonna be like fine either way. Cold gel is very not fun, but if it's warm gel, then it's more easier on the body because then the body will feel fine during the gel being cooled off. Technically, the gel can be like in the warm cold range, and that's okay like to have. So they use a special probe transducer probe a special transducer probe, and it goes on your skin, so it doesn't go inside your skin at all. And what happens is that when they put the right amount of gel, they actually will look at the heart muscle and make sure that it's working, and then you have a special thing that actually records the sound waves, and the sound waves are played back, so that you can actually hear what your heart sounds like, which is pretty amazing. And it's not creepy at all to me, and I think that it's a kind of a special thing to have, is like these echocardiograms done, because a lot of people are just like, what does it look like, what does it sound like? And technically it's pretty cool, and there's tons of things that I really wish that I can like show you guys on, because a lot of you guys would be like, it's creepy. It's not creepy at all, and I will explain why it's not creepy to me at all. When you first find out that you have heart disease, it's kind of scary at first, but when you go into a the cardiovascular teams that been working on cardiovascular for like, I mean, like 2 decades or 3 decades, or just like, I mean, like 40 years, I mean, like upper than that. And you kind of feel like you're going to be scared, but when you like meet the person, you feel more confident in yourself that you're fine, which is a good thing, because when I first met my heart doctor, I was not feeling confident at all. I was feeling pretty scared, honestly, and until he came into the room and just like talked to me for a minute, that's when I felt a lot more better about getting the echo done because like I was feeling pretty nervous, honestly. Um, and what happens is that they will talk to you during it. They'll make sure, they'll talk to you about your heart health, everything pretty much, and they'll just make sure that you're safe and sound to get the echo done, which is like very important for a lot of the technology people out there that are the sonogram people. They will make sure that they have everything inside the computer to tell the doctor, even on paper, is tops. Now, if you guys were getting just all the testing, it's very kind of scary to have, and a lot of people have been asking me like, what is the most scariest thing that your body kind of like, what scares you like the crap out of you? Honestly, when I was going into the hospital a lot for my heart problems, I was very scared because I thought this would be my last day alive. Like I always got scared because I always thought, okay, I'm gonna die. Like this is it. Like I'm just gonna prepare myself, for the challenges of, slowly dying or whatever. Like I always told myself I was gonna prepare whatever I need to have done, and that like kind of scared the living crap out of me for days. Thinking I'm gonna really die. Like I'm in this hospital, I can't get out of the hospital bed, I can't do anything, and that's what it kind of feels like. And you kind of feel like you're just stuck in the middle of everything, and technically you feel like you're just drowning in everything, and that's what the scary part is. Because you just don't know when you're gonna go home, if you're gonna make it out alive, and that's what matters the most, is making it out alive. Because like I'm gonna say this now, death does not scare me one single bit. The reason why is because of all of the experience that I've been going through by myself, with my family, like right by my side, which is like remarkable, and I can't thank my family enough. Even all my friends, I can't thank them all enough lately, because they've been right by my side through all the unexpected heart problems that I've been dealing with. So I'm very thankful for all of you guys out there. Um, Also, like you just feel like you're gonna be not getting better at all. You just feel like there's something hidden that doctors don't want to tell you. And I had a gut wrenching feeling like one time, and the doctor was saying like there's something abnormal in the heart, and I was just like, please be something like that I can easily get taken care of. Like just please don't let me die. Like I was saying that to myself like in the room when they said that there was something abnormal. So I went to my doctor to get my ultrasound test results back, because they give you ultrasound test results back, and the EKG, whatever. And I'm really thankful for doctors giving me all those, like all the answers to like everything that I've been getting tested on, like making sure that it's all, I'm safe, and that my heart's safe, because I want to make sure my heart's safe, and like all my organs are safe and not damaged. I always make sure that I take a pill to relax all my muscles before I go into the bigger, like the longer test. The reason why is because your body kind of, like says, "Oh crap, I'm gonna really die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die." When you're in the test. And what I had to do is in the the MRI test, is that they put in an IV in my arm or in my hand. Usually those don't really hurt that much. And now they put in a the special thing that basically helps your muscles, I mean, your veins and arteries to open up technically. Then they use a special contrast dye. The special contrast dye goes into your body, and it basically shows how your arteries and veins are looking like. My arteries and veins are spider webs, and a lot of people have been asking me, like, how do you feel about fighting the weird sensation wrong with your body? Honestly, it's not weird to me now that I know that my arteries and my veins are technically totally safe and not damaged. And, like, I've taught myself, like, okay, I'm gonna live. I'm not gonna die, like, at a young age. Like, I tell myself that it's always important to get, the echocardiograms done, the MRI scans, the CT scans, angiograms, angioplasties, everything. Even whatever you gotta get done is gotta be done, And I always tell myself that even if it's a dangerous situation, I always tell them, I'm like, just sedate me. Like, just go ahead and sedate me. I'm not allergic to anesthesia. I just now found out I'm not allergic to it, so that's a really good sign. But the reason why is because I'm like, just go ahead and sedate me and just put me under anesthesia and do the test. I'm not going to take my risk my life for any chances of my heart stopping and then being, not able to breathe on my own. Just please sedate me. Like, that's what I've been telling them. Every single time that I got an MRI or CT scan, I just tell them, I'm like, just sedate me and I'll be fine. Which is, the safest way as much as possible. Now, I did not have any breathing tube when I had to get my angiogram done. And what happens is that they actually sedated my body pretty much with this milky medicine, and they actually sedate it so I can actually breathe on my own instead of getting the oxygen into my throat, which is like the safest way as possible. Now, there's a lot of things that a lot of people have been like wondering, like, is it scary to go like into the room by yourself? Heck yeah, it is. It is very scary to go into the operating room by yourself, with unfamiliar people that you don't know, and that's like very scary. For me, it's like I'm friendly to a lot of people, which is a good thing, about me, and yeah, it's very scary because when I went into the operating room for my last my last surgery, I noticed that my two friends were in the room, and I felt more confident in myself that I was gonna be okay because my friends were taking care of me, not because they were not standing, because they're not participating in the surgery. They were actually right by my side when I woke up, and that was like really amazing because I was not expecting them to be in the same room to do the surgery with the doctor, my heart surgeon. And, you think, okay, like, this is crazy. My two best friends just did surgery on me, like, holy crap, that's amazing. And they were saying, they're like, yeah, we saw your heart. It looks really, like, healthy and there's nothing wrong with it. You just got to keep on, making sure that there's nothing, like, no damage around it or anything like that. And there's none. And I was like, praise the Lord, because my friends are, like, remarkable doctors. And I'm very lucky to have my, doctors as all my friends, because like I've been really thankful for all of them for understanding my life technically in different ways. It's just like the ups and downs, and of course like it's always gonna be that easy to tell yourself like, hey, these are your friends. They're not evil. They're nice people. Like I was telling myself that. I'm like when I was a kid. Sorry for my stomach growling. For the reason why I was saying that is because when I was little, I thought doctors were evil, and I always kind of thought that they were evil monsters for putting me through so much agony and so much like scary situations. And like I just told myself like, this is it. I'm not gonna let them do any harm to me whatsoever. Like I told myself that like as a kid, and I said I'm like I'm not gonna let my body go into harm. Not gonna let anyone tell me what's wrong with me. That's what I felt like. And a lot of people just be like, like I always thought doctors were very creepy and, like not very open-minded, and, like it took me a while to like understand why they're not open-minded to you. It's because like they are trying to do their best to not scare you. Like that's the thing. And like I get how doctors are. They're trying their best to make sure that you're in a good situation, not a bad situation, which is like a very pleasurable kind of moment, which is I do like about the doctors. It's not because of doctors saying there's bad situations about you. I'm going to do part 3 in a moment because part 3 there's a lot of big things I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about, the challenges and like ups and downs. And technically, I should probably do it on this one instead of making another video because it's like there's so much things I got to talk about with you guys. Which is like, a bigger challenge to try to do as much as I can for like an hour video, which is what I'm going to try to do. I'm gonna try to do an actual like 2 hour video actually today, which is gonna be like a good thing because I don't want it to be like like an hour video where it's not very much explanation, but I'm gonna try to do a 2 hour video. So there's a lot of like ups and downs. Like technically, when you were just like a little kid, you don't understand what your body's going through until you're a teenager. And when I was a teenager, at age like 12 or like no 13, I mean. Actually, guys, I'll explain it in another video. I had to go to the bathroom, but I'll be right back. How can I pause?